into this random life this week. I didn't manage to do that previously, so I'm finally catching up and doing it. This time, I want to talk to you about living your life professionally, meaning living your personal life professionally. I was talking to my amazing clients, my humanitarian amazing clients, about how many of us have this common theme going on where we prioritize our work, like everything evolves around work, and then everything gets prioritized first, the work, and then everything else, right? And then, of course, they come to me, talk to about how to do that with all the other areas of their lives as well, be it family life, be it parenting life, be it hobby life, whatever the other things that they feel like they haven't really prioritized and to do that. And I was thinking about this a lot. And the question that I was asking myself is imagine if we were able to dedicate so much of our attention, so much of our professionalism to our work. Imagine that energy we spend on our personal life as well, how much we would create or what we would create, how would we be how would be living our lives that way, right? Think about it. If we were able to approach our lives outside of our work in the way of um, doing things the way that we approach our professional lives, imagine how our lives would be different or the way that we want to. So, before I get into this topic, I really want to acknowledge like professionals in the humanitarian world. It's already not easy job to be professional, I think, in an peaceful setting with lots of different people, lots of different politics and rules and policies and everything around. But I think especially it's very challenging, and like sometimes it's like amazing how much we can be professional in the war settings, in the emergency settings, and how much we're able to um, be that professional that we really want in the most extreme situations, right? So I really want to acknowledge my amazing colleagues who have been working from um, like bunkers, right? From bus stop because they didn't have a bunker or they didn't have time to go there in times of alarm, or they didn't sleep so many hours and they kept working and now they continue showing up in the best interest of the people they're serving. So being professional in that environment where your fear-based brain is already like, we're gonna die or something will happen, even in those times, being professional is like an incredible achievement on its own. That's why I want to recognize it. So, whenever we think about being professional, I think many of us strive to be that professional who takes responsibility, who acknowledge things that are not going well so that we fix things in time, we make decisions in time, we act in the best interest of the people, we have clear boundaries as to what we can and cannot do, we are in integrity of what we say we do, and we do it in the time we say we do, right? So these are the some of the elements of being professional, and also representing the interest of the organization, the representing interest of the people that we're serving. One of my favorites that I learned from other amazing colleagues in the humanitarian world is I love those professional colleagues who did not make a big fuss and they just understood what the matter is. They took in charge of what needs to get done, delegated if necessary, discuss with people if necessary, and then decided these are the things we're going to do, and then they just went to do it without much of a fuss and rebellious or whatever other behaviors they showed, right? So I love this type of professionals that are very calm, that are very grounded. They know what they're doing. They know why they're doing it. They just go and get things done as well. And and now think about those type of professional qualities that so many of us have, or there so many of us are learning to have, and think about how we could already apply those abilities to our personal lives, in the areas that we believe is not really getting our attention as much as we would like to, right? So imagine how would our personal lives would look like if we took the decision on time, if we took the responsibility for this is how we're going to make things work in the way that we want to. We trusted ourselves deeply. We had a clear boundaries as to what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. We say this is what we're going to do, and we go and do it, and we just be in integrity, honest with our building our relationships with people, building our future, and not neglecting it, not delaying it, not um, paying as much as attention as we pay attention to our work. Imagine if we could apply those professional qualities to our personal lives. How would that look like? Right? And of course, I really want you to not use this also, not use it against yourself in a way to say that, oh, I have enough headache from work, or I have enough to do at work. My life can't be work. Of course, I totally understand it. So that's why please don't hear me wrong by when I say that we already have the qualities from us being professionals. Let's use those qualities, let's use those abilities to our personal lives, and not the part where we feel like we need to perform, or I know that some of humanitarians I talk to, they have very sarcastic or cynical ways of describing themselves, of saying they're the professional explainers of how things are wrong, or whatever the things that they may use. Please don't use that against yourself, right? So, if we can apply those qualities to our personal lives, in order to do that, though, we need to take time to do that as well. So imagine the mindset you have when you think about work, right? When you think about work, probably you have, like many humanitarians tell me, is that work like gets so much of the priority over anything else. All the other commitments that we have get planned around work. And if you really want to have a personal life, then probably that attention or that level of priority probably needs to be decreased a little, so that you can have space for your personal life, right? Otherwise, if one part of our life is so dominant, then we don't tend to obviously have like time, the energy, attention to dedicate to something else if we're doing that so much on our work. So that's why we need to start looking at how we can apply those qualities and the skills that we have to our personal life, and take time and prioritize our personal life as well, right? In the way that we have been doing with our work. And when you are doing that, I noticed that a lot of people don't do that because they fear that if they do, they will neglect their work. They fear that if they focus on their personal life, it will not work the way that they think it should anyway, or they don't really believe that they can really create those relationships or those. Family, or spending time with their families, and it's not really possible. So that's why they don't tend to prioritize their personal lives. And if that is the case, then think about it. If you can learn all of these abilities from being a professional, because all of those have been learned, right? Those abilities, those skill sets, you have learned them. you can also do that with your personal life, with getting to know yourself better, building relationships with other people that you really want to, or creating the life you want to. You can build, or sorry, you can learn all of those skills as well, just the way that you learned to become that professional. And the amazing part about the personal life is that the manuals are not really anyone else's manual but your own. So, in other words, you get to create your own manuals of how you want to live that life, how you want to build that relationships, how you want to build that future and the personal life in the way that you want to, in the way that's balanced. You get to learn your own skills by creating your own manuals for yourself, your own policies for yourself, if you will, right? So you get to do that, which you have probably learned at work at some point or continue learning. So that's why you can do all of that in your personal life. And even if there will be fear of this will not work, even if there is the fear of you may be neglecting your work, but think about it, you are a professional. It's difficult for you to probably even neglect it even if you wanted to, because you probably have dedicated so much time to that work that now it's time to also catch up on other areas of your life, right? Because if so, this is what I understood from my experience and my experience of my clients, is that we really need to have major parts of our lives really going in tandem, meaning progressing in tandem. And if they don't, then we will always not be satisfied with one area of our life. So if we give too much attention to our personal life and prioritizing it, then we will not be feeling fulfilled professionally. If we do that professionally, we feel like we're not really fulfilled um, in our personal lives, right? So that's why we really have the ability to have the space for both. It's just we have the ability to have the space for both, and also the skill set necessary to build both, and even other elements if we want to add to that. We just, I think we have been like programmed in our societies to believe that one is always more important than the other, or we have this like black and white thinking a bit, and we tend to believe that we can only make one area work over the other. Otherwise, if we try to make both work, then it will not really work. But what if now is a time for us to start exploring? We could be the professionals, the new generation, or the new way of creating professionals who don't neglect work and personal life, who don't neglect the personal life of being the person, building the relationships, having the future and the life that they want, and having fulfilling life. Because I feel like we're like, even if you're looking at all the trends in the internet, we're, I think, recognizing more and more that we are human beings who want to have so many different of our parts of our lives to be thriving, for us to really love our lives, right? We're no longer satisfied with only one part of our lives being amazing and shooting through the stars and other parts lagging. We really want to have all, basically. And if that is you, then I really want to give you this idea that all the qualities that you have learned that are so amazing, that you've been applying every day, you can start applying that now today in your personal life, and start thinking about, okay, whatever is the part that's lagging, be it creating new relationships, be it creating new habits and new routines in your personal life. How can you start focusing so much of your attention, so much of your abilities, so much of your trust, so much of your boundaries? How can you apply that already in your personal life? Because your professional life has been already covered. And how can you also look at the things that you don't want to do as a professional? How can you apply that in your personal life as well? right? So one of my favorites that I love to use in my personal life is that I am a professional humanitarian professional coach. I am also so as a professional coach, as a professional humanitarian, I take responsibilities, I take decisions, I am responsible, I'm accountable, I am very clear, I work in the best interest of my people I serve, and the same goes in my personal life. I take responsibility. I take decisions on time. If I say I do things, I do it on time, as the way I say I would do. I create the life I want to, the way that I say I would. And I have clear boundaries of when I work, when I don't work, so I can spend time with my loved ones. And I have space for both and more. And I'm a professional who can handle and create that. I trust myself that I can do that. And I do that in my personal life as well. Right. So that's why I don't need to choose or think that, oh, I have to prioritize one or the other. No, I want to prioritize my life with my loved ones. I want to prioritize my work with my amazing clients, and I want to prioritize all my other interests. And these are all the things that I have the capacity to have space for and have live it the way that I want to. So that's why I really invite you to consider doing that with any area that you feel like is lagging behind in order not to delay, not to keep using work as a way to shield yourself from looking at other areas of your life, not use work as a hiding place, but rather looking at, okay, work is going amazing. I am in my professional life the way I want to, and I want to have these other areas that I want to build. I really want to have it the way I want to. And here are the abilities and skill sets that I can bring from my work into it. And then I start clarifying that, making decisions, taking responsibility, and laying out the way how I'm going to make my personal life to be the way that I really love living, to be the way that I really want to be in those relationships, right? So, my dears, I really hope that you will use this as of now to get to having that life exactly the way you want to, just the way that you've been having with your work. I really hope that you can do that in your personal life so that you can start transitioning to that life the way you want to without having to choose one or the other. Have an amazing week, you all, and talk to you